Hey there, beautiful soul. Welcome to Unfiltered and Unashamed, the Ashley Reese podcast. I am your host, WBFF Pro, esthetician, nutrition coach, mama, and faith fueled entrepreneur. I am glad you're here. This is your safe space to grow stronger in body, bolder in business, and deeper in faith. Whether we're talking about fitness, family, nutrition, skincare, mindset, or building a brand with kingdom purpose, nothing's off limits here. We keep it real, raw, and rooted in the truth because showing up for your calling means being unfiltered in your story and unashamed of your light. So grab your greens, your grind, and maybe your Bible because we're about to glow up from the inside out. Gentlemen, we have Miss Amy Smith, the iconic pro athlete, fitness athlete from WBFF Pro on our show today. And I am super excited. We just met down in Miami, Florida, and we connected. And it's like whenever you just meet somebody's spirit and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like we're like twin spirits or something. And we're just like reflections, we're vibing. And beautiful woman inside out. I'm getting goosebumps right now as I'm talking about this, trying to follow what words I put together, but these other ones just come out of my mouth. But I wanted to just say congratulations again for your win.
Thank you. And you know what? It was such a
world.
Yes, it was such a pleasure to meet you. And I went into that competition like really looking for my people and my tribe. Like literally when I saw you, I was like, there you are. Where have you been? And it's like Heavenly Father answers prayers.
Oh my gosh, that is so sweet that you say that because literally my prayer leading up to it was like, allow my light to attract other light so that we can bring the light. And so all the things you were saying and vibing, like we're going to have to show the audience, we were both even wearing the same bracelets almost today. I'm like, this is so, you know what? This completes the Wonder Woman.
I agree. When you hit a particular age, you got to step into that woman power and be like, let's go. And let's just be our Wonder Woman selves and let it shine and share our knowledge with the world because so many people are kind of like lost a little, but let's just do us and show them that it is, you don't have to be alone and you don't have to be scared and you don't have to be unsure. Just step into your Wonder Woman power like us.
Right. Yes, like Unfiltered and Unashamed. That's the name of the podcast. Right. And today we're going to be talking about crowns, chaos, and comebacks, post-show reflections, because a lot of people want to know, like, okay, we're geared, we're locked in, we're doing all these different things, and then we come into the rat race of life, the spin cycle of all the things. So our first topic will kind of like hit on a lot of different ones, but like show reflections and experience, kind of like we'll start there. So like, how are you feeling like the few days after stepping off stage? Like we kind of gave you a little bit of what you were kind of doing before, but like stepping off stage, you just like, tell us about that.
I just stopped. I stopped looking at Instagram. I stopped scrolling. I needed to actually just get back into my center and kind of go, okay, look around you because the only people that really matter are the ones that are right in front of you, your family, your children, your spouses, your life, your job. And so I had to really stop because it was so amazing and so fun and sistery and everything that I had to literally get off Instagram. I had to get off the computer for literally 4 to 5 days. And then I got a little sick and I think it was because of the rush and the hyper excitement. So I had to really decompress and just chill really and just get back to laundry and dishes and business and running kids and my house flooded. And it was like a thing.
Yeah, kind of like almost decompress from it, and I could relate to that. I was somewhat similar. Like I felt like the media was a little overstimulating, right?
Yes.
It was just so much in the brain, and you kind of I had a little bit of that leading up to it. I was like, I cannot look at it because what we were so focused in when we're in it, we are the media. Right. So it was a little much. Like I completely understand that. So what was your favorite moment from the weekend on or off stage?
Okay, this moment to me it was serendipitous. I cannot believe this happened. But it was late after registration. My husband had already gone upstairs and I ended up getting on the elevator, tired, worn out. I meet this gentleman in the elevator and we have this conversation. He's eating pizza and I'm like, I'm getting that when I'm done. And he goes, well, you're welcome to share a piece. I'm like, that's fine. I go, are you involved in the show? And he goes, yes, I am. And I go, well, I'm Amy Smith. I'm doing the show. And he goes, I'm Jacob. Well, it ended up being Jacob Muir, the fashion designer that put the runway together. I met him in the elevator, casual, nice conversation, spirit matches spirit. And he saw me the next day and said, I have an outfit for you to wear on the runway. And that was like epic. Like, you can't make that up at 57. That kind of shit just does not normally happen.
Right. Well, you were open to it.
Yeah.
And I remember whenever we were leaving and we were in the car and I yelled out to you, hey, Amy, you had that box of pizza after the show in your hand. I was like, yes, girl.
I inspired the pizza. Yeah.
I had bought a donut like this big that I had saw in the coffee shop the day before. I was like, no, I'm pre-planning my food because I know all these girls are going to eat all these donuts. And so that's what I do like before show. I'll like shop and smell with my eyes and I'll buy it for like my fiance or like a friend, whoever's with me. Like, you need this croissant. You need this. Like, I got to smell it.
I was having that pizza when I met Jacob. I was like, I'm getting that.
But that was awesome. His designs were amazing. I bet your girls
that will probably never happen again. I know, it was brilliant. And I was like, I'm stepping into this. I don't care if it's scary. These women are stunning and beautiful and professionals. Girl, I could not stop smiling. I'm up there.
Yes. It's like your face is just, why not? It's happy and it's rewarding, you know?
Yes.
So I guess like it kind of leads into the next one. Like, what was the hardest part of your prep this time? Do you think?
Well, you know I figured out how I self-sabotage myself. So in April when I did it, kind of made me second guess myself and be like, why are you doing this? You're old enough to.
Which one did you do in April?
I did in April. I did the WBFF in April, the amateur one. And because there was no one else to compete against, I was like a little disappointed, or I kind of was like, felt like I got a forfeit trophy. When I came off the stage, I was like, why am I doing this? I'm 57 years old. I don't have anything to prove to anyone. I'm like, and then I realized I'm doing this for myself. I wasn't up there to like get accolades or to get applause or to put it on Instagram. It was like I had set this goal 3 years ago to be in the WBFF. And to be able to stand on that stage at my age and be like, here I am, say something. And I had to learn how I sabotage myself. So how I learned that I self-sabotage by not eating. And so what ends up happening is your muscles don't grow. My skin gets saggy. And so I had to learn to eat to get on that next stage. And so I had to get off of Instagram to stop comparing myself and just know how I work.
Yeah. And, I can hear the vulnerability in your voice. And so thank you for sharing that. And, that is so important because it's self-reflection. And one thing that a lot of people totally don't even think about it when we talk about these shows is that you're really empowering yourself. You are beating your last stage presence.
Yes.
Like, that's how I feel. Like, as long as I bring a better package than the one I did before, then I'm okay, or whatever it is, Did anything surprise you about this show compared to the other ones that you did?
Yeah, actually, the first time I was so nervous standing on stage. I was like, oh, and this time I was very settled. I came in more prepared with my moves. And I had this confidence of like, you've been here, you belong, you did the work, show up, shine, sparkle, and just do it. I stopped really kind of caring what people thought,
Right.
For so long we live with the society telling us you have to fit in this box, fit in this box, fit in this box. And I kind of just went, I'm not ever going to fit in that box. And so I had to just step into that power and just let that, and then love me or hate me, I don't care.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's so true. And I love that because we make our own box,
It's true.
And it is really the battlefield of the mind, because if you think about it, like, because I'm very intuitive to other people's like energies and spirits, and like I can feel it,
Yeah.
And like when you're in it, but like literally I feel like this past week I've been able to reflect of what all the go was. So it's been emotional, it's been all these different things, but like you're like in the safari with like mountain lions. Like in my head, that's how I picture it. Like more like piranhas, but we're nice and we love each other. But that is a fierce competition. Like it is. 0.1% of the world. And
Yeah.
I mean, I can see different girls that were kind of like, I mean, shaking before they went on stage, that were like amateurs that were going on there, or that
Right.
had been competing, but I could feel their self doubt, and I'd kind of like, it's just my nature to nurture, and I'd come alongside them and like be like,
Yeah.
do you want to say a prayer or whatever? You got
Yes.
this. It really is just about empowering, and it's
Yeah.
so sweet to me, and it gives me goosebumps again because I know both of us have daughters, and you were able to meet my daughters there, and that's when you told
Yes.
me it's duplication, right?
It
And
is.
if they can see you love yourself and
Right.
in a good, healthy way, then they can do and be empowered to the next. And I
Right.
feel that so many other women are competitive in a negative way versus a positive.
Mm-hmm.
I really do feel like our overall energy at WBFF, we all are pretty much uplifting each other,
The truth. There is
because
a
we
type
know
of
at that
sister.
point, our body and our hard work, we can't do anything else. It is what it
Right.
is now. So it's showtime, baby. Like, let's do
Right.
it.
It felt like I prayed and prayed and prayed for this. And it's like the universe showed up. Are you going to show up? And that's exactly my mindset when I went into that week. And as far as daughters, I have one daughter here that has three of her daughters with me, my grandchildren. That's why I'm in my bathroom. But I see and I listen, and sometimes your own daughters might think you're kind of crazy or don't really know what you're talking about. But you know who does think you know what you're talking about? Your granddaughters. My granddaughters look at me like I am superstar Lala, because that's my grandma name. And we call it La La Land. But that I can change their point of view that I'm a winner. So my daughters, I know how I kind of messed them up. And I know my mom by why they were growing up. But my granddaughters, I'm going to make an impact.
Right.
And that's their mothers. Their mothers are going to start that impact. And then I'm going to make them know they can believe in themselves.
And that, my friend, I'm pretty sure you just described the modern day legacy that we know.
I
And
agree.
so
I love
kudos
you.
for
I
that. So
love you
here's
so
some mom
much.
props, because that is generational wealth. That's what I
Yes.
call it. I know you can't leave this world with tangible, and money does make things great, but to me, what you can do is impact the generations.
True.
And I always say, are you the person that you would love your child to grow to become?
Right.
And then I always say to my kid, you're going to be better than me.
The truth. And that generation is going to be better than their mothers. I mean, as a mom, you have cringy moments. We all do. Give yourself a break. But with your grandchildren, they don't see you at your worst. And they take your best parts and they watch you. I had one that was posing with me every day. My coach it has video of her in her high heels, her pleasers, posing with me. And I'm hoping that I'm instilling this confidence of, go girl, you got this.
You're showing. I'm example. Real quick side note. Like, I had my daughter back here. We were at this like volleyball game she was playing, and I'm just like watching her on the court. 15 and a 10th grader, and I'm like, I'm seeing her in high school, but when I see her on the court, I'm seeing her as a pro volleyball player. Like, in my brain,
Yes.
she was telling me something. I was like, she's like, Mom, I have a whole nother perspective of everything now that I've seen that. I said, I mean, going to school and something's like small play compared to like, I said, keep your eyes set forward. Think
Right.
Pro athlete, pro volleyball, pro next Gabrielle Reece. Let's claim that,
And it's funny that you said Gabrielle Reece, because she was my body icon. So Gabrielle Reece has badass shoulders.
You have it. So my maiden name is Reece, and I used to be like want to be like her when I was in high school. I was like, because she played volleyball, I played volleyball. I was like, I gotta go watch my sister play,
Because literally she was my inspo. And I was like, if I can build my body to look like that, winning. And I did.
You nailed it.
Yes. That's
You
funny
nailed
that you need that.
And she was
That's a
one of
trick.
the first athletes that bridged the gap with modeling.
Yes.
I thought that was amazing.
She was beautiful, powerful, talented, accomplished. I 100% agree.
She could serve the you know what out of a volleyball.
Yes, she could.
match.
Yes. I love this. That's crazy.
I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. That
is the truth. You have to be tough to take that.
For sure.
You know what? I also found.
We're kind of rotating it into it anyways about mindset and growth. Like,
oh, yes.
Competing takes a lot mentally. Like, we know that. But like, what did you learn about yourself in this prep? I did learn what you believe in has power. So for instance, if you believe in God, that you have power in that. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. You have to really know it and believe it. Be like, I belong there. Why not? I did the work. I trained. I showed up.
I belong there. And you have to believe it. 10% of our brain is actually activated right now, right? That's what the scientists tell us. What is the rest of it for? It's for us. It's for us to know you can do it, believe in yourself, manifest, choose your destiny. What you focus on is what you're going to get. And I want that my kids to know, my grandkids and my kids to know that. If you focus on negative, 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 that's what you're going to get. If you focus on, I am a star, I'm shiny, go do it.
Yeah. I always
You have
say
to believe
your brain doesn't know what you don't tell it.
it's true. Your imagination is worse than reality.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and if you can handle and compete, like that's why I feel like yoga or any of those practices was like that's the hard part of it is because you're really what is it? You're conquering yourself, right?
True.
I'll never
You're
forget
conquering
that. I think it
your
was like
belief
last
system.
Miami show when I walked out on stage because we'll get into the stage part like right here in a second, but it was like I remember feeling like I conquered the stage. Like, and once you do that, then it's like each little show you conquer like little different things, like maybe a presence, or maybe the posing, or maybe it's your facial stuff, or just maybe it's the prep, whatever it is. But it all builds up so that when you do get that title, you've worked. You know what I
It's
mean? You've
true.
done it.
It's true. And that's what my coach kept telling me, Diana. She kept saying, you got to practice, practice, practice. So it's autopilot, autopilot. You don't even really have to think and you can just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And she was right.
Yeah. So, like, well, we touched on this about parenting and stuff like that, but how do you balance being a mom of three with an athlete life, prep demands, running a business, you have your grandkids, you got all the different things? Like, how is that working for you, and how do you really do that? How do you balance it?
Well, I think you have to really, I had to really remember the people that matter are the ones that are in front of me, right? The ones I see every day. Those are the people that matter. So I had to really remember that. And then if I'm on the diet, everybody's on the diet. You know, if you don't like it, then you're going to get some cereal or whatever. But and then it is a very selfish sport. They have to know that when you go into it, and they love you enough and give you enough grace. And when you mess up or when you're a real snot, you say you're sorry.
Right. Yeah. Well,
And show up.
that's true because it is like it's a team effort. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a
It
team
really
effort.
is.
It's funny in my household, like when it gets leading up to the show, I'm like, gotta keep my cortisol down low. Cortisol has to be low, guys. So I'm like, they'll be like, Mom, I know you need to keep your cortisol low, but, and I'm like, what? You know, you have to kind of go like a detachment of your own self for a minute.
You
You know,
do.
you like hear it, you step out of it, and then you're like,
Yeah. Right.
Right. Right. Well, that shifts into the mindset. Like, what's one mindset shift that helps you push through the hardest days? Like, maybe you're like not feeling it or whatever.
It was, I kept reminding myself I had that goal. I was doing this for myself. There's a reason I'm doing this. There's a reason I'm doing this. And it wasn't for anyone else. I've been a mother, a daughter, a sister, a wife, a friend, but I've never just been myself. And so at this point in time at my age, it was like, I'm doing this for myself, no one else. You know, I'm glad everybody else can be there and participate. But at this point in time in my life, this is for me and I'm getting to know me. So that's was my mindset was like, do this for yourself, do this for yourself. And every step is a learning process. April, I learned so much to step here. And in December, when I go to Atlantic City, it's going to be I'm going to have another perspective. So I love that. And I love that my Heavenly Father is happy to keep working with me through this. You know, you think your life is over and you're molded into all these things. You're not. There is a next chapter. There's a next chapter. There's a next chapter. Don't give up on yourself.
And I really feel that we rebrand ourselves every time we're coming from a show because literally is the journey to the stage. It's every day you get up and you're doing all those daily disciplines. That's what's creating. It's like we have this big rock and we're chiseling it away. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But we don't even know what that's going to look like. We just keep doing the daily discipline. And then when we get there, we're like, it's like kind of like another out of body. Like sometimes I look at pictures and I ask my girlfriend, I said, did you put a filter on me? She's like, no, that's what you really look like. I said, that does not look like what I feel like I look like.
Interesting, because I have a hard time looking at my own pictures and videos. I did an amazing shoot with Pierre Bernal, I think it was, and I can't even look at the pictures because they're going to be so stunning. I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to face that is the me. That is me. But I did a shoot with Sirach, and I'm Sirach, I think that's how you say his name. And I looked at those pictures, and I'm like, damn, that's a bad bitch.
The beach. He's a wonderful photographer. I love him and his wife. They have a
Oh,
studio in Vegas that they shot, and it is amazing. That was where I got my pro card, and I was just like, what life am I living? Like, what?
I know. Let's go there in October. They're gonna do a shoot in October. Let's go do one together.
Oh my gosh, which October? This
In
October?
Vegas. Sirach is doing a shoot in Vegas in October. Let's go do one together.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting married in October. I don't know if I can cram anything else in.
Okay. We'll do one in December then. Okay.
Yes, I mean it's always just the next year. We just gotta plan it, you know. Yes, and it will be more a time, you know, because I think I'm wearing out this last name. I had to go get a new last name, girlfriend, so I could start making some new waves with it. So, like, if you could go back and encourage Prep Day 1 Amy, what would you say?
I would tell her to chill out. You got this. Don't be so afraid. Don't be so afraid. It's like who cares? Who cares if like people think whatever they think about you? Who cares? Let them. I've been reading Mel Robbins' book where it's like let them talk about you, let them think whatever. Just let them. But don't let that stop you because you feel like people are going to judge you and look at you differently. Just let it go. First time I was shook.
The first time I went, it was in New York, and I was the first person on stage. I think they told me to go right 3 times, and I was hard going left.
In April, they're like, amateur, go. And I'm like, woo, let's go. I guess we're doing this. And I was like, it was a learning experience, is how I say that was.
Yeah. It really, and then I remember when I first saw the pros come through, it was like watching like another like waterfall flow through like a current that was going in Vegas. When I saw all them, I was like, oh,
that was me this time.
I want some of that.
That was me this time. And then to be called up and stood right next to Juliet as a pro, and she got the champ, and I got second in 45 worlds. That was like so surreal, and I know exactly what you're talking about when you said it was like a waterfall. I want that.
Yeah, and you know, and it's interesting and cool because we can take that and be that for those new amateurs. Like when I went in Connecticut in April, and I was encouraging them to come to Worlds, and I saw some of them at Worlds. I just really went to them. I was like, you guys, you have to experience it because it is nothing. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
It's true. I always say it's like playing dress up with your girlfriends.
Yeah. I mean,
like 12-year-olds.
Then you get to doll up, like leading up to the show, you get to get all your glam done.
Buckling each other's shoes, you're zipping each other up, you're checking each other's makeup. It was literally like playing dress up with your girlfriends. I loved it.
And
the young girls.
Sort of like energy, you know, which keeps you young. I know that I can't remember her name, Natasha, that had those big peacock feathers. I mean, you couldn't even see anybody else but her. It was beautiful. And I just like met her. I think I seen her in another show, but I was like putting her shoes on, buckling this, doing that. I was like, girlfriend, go.
Yeah, I felt.
Well, and then they give you tips sometimes. Like I remember I saw it was one of the girls from Vegas, and I was like, your shoulders are beautiful. And she's like, you want to know my trick? I said, yeah. She's like, I trained them twice a week. I was like, okay.
Done. Well, the funny thing is behind stage, Juliet and I were back there doing squats. We're like sitting there doing shoulders together. And it was like, you don't, in NPC, you kind of side-eyed each other and you didn't even talk to each other. But in WBFF, you were helping each other pump up in the back. I was holding her shoulders, getting her shoulders pumped, and then she was like helping me. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh, we were in the line waiting to go in our full-on bikinis. We dropped down and we're doing push-ups in heels and like, you know, and it's funny that you brought up the other affiliations because like I too had done NPC before, and that kind of was like what got me like started in it, but like WBFF, when I found this brand, I was just like, this is my zhush, because the other was just too, it wasn't my jam. This one was like, I could express my freedom because really, your body has to be conditioned, but really you are the show. It's your performance. So you have to outperform the other person that's out there. And that comes with more presence and more confidence, you know?
Right. And your personality comes through. Like all of the other ones where like you stood there and you were perfect and you're like, and then you sit here and you're perfect and you're But this one, it has your personality coming through. If you you can go up there and have fun. You can own the stage. But the other one, you had to be just like everyone else. And I'm tired of being just like everyone else.
You
I'm
had to
done.
conform. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done.
And I felt like when I was a little kid, I wanted to be like a blend of Sports Illustrated and Victoria's Secret supermodel. And I feel like this is them together in a fitness arena. And it's and it's so great that we have girls and we could teach them this. But I'm like, you can design your own life, like whatever
Yeah.
you want to do. Like I always wanted to be this, and I just didn't know how it was going to evolve to this, but it did. And I'm like, I'm living the dream. You got to pinch yourself, like
It's like it's the truth, and you just become so grateful. You're so grateful that that happened, and you're like, I'm grateful that I learned that about myself, and I wasn't afraid to step into it. It just makes you feel your heart. It makes your heart feel good. Now it can mind f you, but you have to learn that about yourself. How is this going to mind f me?
Yes, yes. And like that leads into life beyond the stage. Like, what are you most looking forward to now that the show is over?
Well, I'm going to be traveling a lot, and I'm spending time with my grandkids now, because when you're spending time with them, you're eating different things and stuff. But also, I was practicing twice a day, working out, blah blah blah. So now I'm trying to develop this mom advice thing where it's a process where you treat your home like your business. You're the president, you have employees, which are your children. They need their job title. You're the boss, and you come in and give them their reviews. And actually, that way they know what is expected of them, and they know they're going to answer to you. And if they don't, we're going to talk about it. We're going to have a job performance. And I know that sounds very, very hardcore, but I think that there is no questions then. For instance, my kids, I taught them how to clean a bathroom. I got tired of them asking me, how do you clean a bathroom? I made a manual, and I said, you do the mirrors with this. You do the toilet with this. You mop the floor with this. And I created a manual that sat in my dresser in the family room, and they got it off the thing, and they would just check the box why they were learning how to clean.
Yeah.
That way, there was no questions, or like, I think I did it. No.
No, it's always better to know what is expected of you, so
Right.
that you can deliver, and so it builds their confidence in them. Like I do the same thing. It's like the peak of the pit of the day. I'll leave a list, and it's like they mark it off as they do it.
Yes.
Because my mom did the same thing, and that wasn't what like protocol, what everybody calls it in the world. Like that just comes with discipline.
Yes.
And whoever taught you that, you're now teaching, the next generation that.
Yes. I taught my kids that, but I'm finding that my grandkids don't get lists. But what I am finding is that they're starting to. Now that my daughter is like tired of doing everything and stuff, she's starting to put lists together. So it eventually gets to them and they learn it. But I think, sometimes they question your strategy, but they learn it and they go back to it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And it builds I always say I do everything like I do all things, which is with excellence.
Right.
Always, every day, you give yourself grace, and you're getting better every day. So it's the
Agreed.
compound effect. The more you do
Agreed.
good things, the more better things are going to come. If you keep falling short, then you're going to get complacent, And that goes with everything. Like I was telling my daughters, I said, girls, because teenage girls, they can be crazy and mean in school and stuff. But I was like, see these girls out here, these competitors, they are like your basketball and volleyball girlfriends. I said, they're just grown up. We just keep leveling up. These are the top 0.1%. I mean, they're just amazing. Like, I know it's kind of different whenever how do you recenter yourself by shifting back to the normal life after the prep?
Yes.
A little bit.
Okay, so you recenter yourself by doing the same things. For instance, I took 1 week off from the gym. I'm now back at it. I don't go as early now. I go like at 8 now, but you still do the same things. So you're still the same, but not as intense, right? So now I'll get a cinnamon roll or a breakfast burrito and all that all along the way. But you still do the same things, but not just as intense. So I'll still work out for an hour. It won't be intense. It'll just be this. And then I take a lot of friend time. So I go to lunch every day pretty much with a girlfriend, catch up, visit. Your girlfriends are the ones going to show up for you in your life, right? So you focus on that kind of reason, or get back in touch with everyone, because you do kind of alienate everyone. You're on a different level. You're charging after something and they're not. So they can't really relate with you. But after the show, I sit down with every one of my girlfriends for a lunch and catch up and personally tell them and talk to them and tell them about my experience instead of a text or pictures. Reconnect, spend time, travel, and just, do some breathing and meditation and kind of stuff. Like I started yoga again and that kind of stuff.
Stretching it out. Like,
Yeah.
how do your kids notice or get inspired by seeing their mom or your grandkids?
They was moms a lot, my kid, I am a lot. Okay. And I'm fine with that. But now what I'm hoping I'm doing is when they are 50, they're going to be like, mom set a great example to me on how I'm going to approach that decade when my kids are raised or when I'm at this position. I think what's happening is they're actually starting to see me in a different grown up woman look instead of a mom look.
Really interesting dynamic when I realized it with my own mom. And I think it came when I was 25 and she was 50 and I was half of her age. And it's just like, they just know and do only what they know and do, but they are their own person. Like you are, and then you said it greatly. Like when you raise your kids and they're 18, and they're a person, they're their own individual, and then you get them they're all efficient. Like you shift and you're not a provider anymore. You're more like a mentor or, a friend, whatever, someone that they can come and sound their ideas off of. Mm-hmm. And it's a different place, but like, since you're enjoying the fruit of your labor because you didn't put it in there, which is, I wish more people would do that. Empower.
I'm a coach and then they watch you how you do it.
Yeah.
I have to say it.
Leading by example. So like if you weren't competing, what's one thing you'd pour your energy into?
I would pour my energy into, I love fashion. I love colors. I redid my house and I love putting a look together. So I would probably really focus on something like that, styling, designing, something like that, just because I feel I'm super creative, but I've been so business minded for so long that I kind of put that away. But now that I've kind of stepped into this and found myself again, I think I'm going to step into my creative energy. I'm not sure what that's going to be, but I'm figuring it out.
Yeah. And the fun part, and I could throw just a seed planting in there for you that comes to my head. I enjoy, because I'm similar to you, but I enjoy designing my outfits and putting my looks together for the show. And I do it always a year in advance. So when I'm already at this one, I'm already doing the next one.
I love that.
It takes a while to kind of, you fill out what you want,
right?
What looks, what colors, what this, what that,
and who you are. Yeah. I know my costume was a Firebird because I felt like I had just come from the ashes of like not sure who I was, and I was really finding myself. That's why I did my costume as a Phoenix Firebird when I went on there, is because that was really important to me to represent that's my neck. I'm like rising at this point.
Love that. And see, I didn't know what your costume was, and when I saw that, I was like, I had to like zoom in. I was like, I know her. I was like, I didn't know like, I just knew like, we're competing in the bikini, but like I saw you in a dress. I didn't like necessarily see you because of where we were and all the lineups of like in our stuff. Or when I did, I must have just been looking at your face and talking to you. I wasn't like checking you out or anything. And then I saw you up there with those wings, and I was like, damn. Like that was nice. That was a Firebird for sure. Yeah. Fun and personality side, this is like right into what we're parlaying into. What's the first non-prep meal or treat that you had after the show? Well, we already discussed you had the pizza.
Yeah, you saw that box of pizza.
But what was the song that carried you through through training this season?
Babe, I had 3 of them. So the first one was that Baby, What Are We Holding On To? And that was like a song to myself of like, why are you holding on to your old belief system that you're not good enough, or that you can't do this, or you shouldn't be on stage, or those things. And I'm like, what, baby, why are we holding on to that? Let's move forward that. And the next one was, That's Just How We Roll. And I figured that's just how I am. I'm never going to fit in a box. And the last one was Tate McRae's Watch Me. Because then it was like, watch me. This is what I'm going to do. So it took those 3 songs to get me through that whole energy.
I love that. And music is very motivating and very powerful.
It is. Yeah. So God put that on this earth for us.
You always think music is almost like the ocean waves, like.
Yeah.
It's so amazing.
It speaks to you.
But if you had to describe your show day in 3 words, what would it be?
Scary, empowering, and Joyful. It was scary to get there. Standing on that stage was empowering, and so happy I did it.
Well, and I'm thankful I met you. What is one funny or unexpected behind the scenes moment from the show weekend that you had?
When Jacob said you're going to need black 6-inch heels, and my husband never shops, like God forbid he goes into a mall. And I'm like, it's raining. I'm getting my hair done. Go get the shoes. And he's like, I can't get the shoes. I'm like, here's the picture. I'll call. Go get the shoes. And he went out there and he stepped out of his comfort zone because he doesn't chit chat. He doesn't particularly enjoy it. He doesn't like his picture taken. Doesn't like any of that. But that was unexpected that he actually was like, okay, I'll do this. It was very funny to see him, not very funny. It was very sweet and interesting to see him step out of his comfort zone. And it was unexpected for him to actually do it and then carry the feathers around. He was carrying those feathers around up and down the street.
I have to say, like, because I was for a registration and I saw him because you can't miss him. His eyes are like piercing blue, you know? And I was like, who is he with, you know? And he was so happy. I felt grateful to be there because I love to study like people and couples and stuff.
Yes.
And he's about to get married and stuff, and knowing that, you know, I'm assuming he's a husband of somebody, you know. I love, and then even like as y'all walked by me and stuff, and I was like, that's so sweet to see like unity, support. I'm like getting goosebumps again, and it's cute to see that, and he was so happy, and I was like, oh, this makes sense because he's cool, calm, and collective, and you were like a firecracker. Yeah. And I was like, that's kind of like how you kind of balance each other out, I'm sure. Yeah. He was just like, it brings me joy to even say it because he was just so proud of you. Yeah. And y'all have grown, I imagine, together because you cannot be with an athlete like us and not grow.
Right.
You know?
Right. And we have several companies, and he was always the superstar, and he was always the one out in front and doing, and I was always the support system, you know, mailing invoices, talking, calling, PR, collections, whatever. And so I was always behind the scenes. And now at this point in our time, the roles have reversed. And it's very uncomfortable for him. And I respect the fact that he's stepping into it. And I appreciate it. But to see him walking down with those feathers, walking down to the thing was very, very funny.
I loved it. It. So as we're wrapping up, like what's next for Amy as an athlete, a grandmother, a Miss Lala, and a woman?
I think as Amy, I'm going to, just take some time. We're going to travel, because when you don't eat the best. You just eat whatever when you're traveling. So we're going to travel for a while. And then as far as Lala, I have grandies that I need to teach to swim and I need to do things with. And then as a woman, I really want to get the word out to women that, you have different chapters. You go through identity crises, right? And because we get older, we don't have to look like anyone else. We don't have to be like anyone else. This is your time. This is your next chapter. And there is a warrior. There's a spot between the maiden, the mother, and the crone, and it's called the warrior. And right now, this gets me very emotional. Right now, women of your age and my age, we're the warriors because we are here to tell these women that are coming up that it's mind numbing. Through some of it is super mind numbing. You lose yourself. That's okay because you're going to find yourself. But do the work to find yourself later. Do it.
Yeah. Because if you don't do it now, if you don't pay for it now, you're going to pay for it later.
Right. And you'll be lost forever. You won't ever really find yourself. So gifts up.
And it's like when people will come up to me and say different things, and I'm just like, I love to dare them to dream. And they'll be like, "Well, my kids." I'm like, then I've almost kind of, how you can't train the crazy, but you can also this is why I couldn't be a personal trainer because I cannot deal with people's excuses a lot. Yeah. But whenever they'll come and then they correct themselves, they're like, "Oh wait, but you have 2 kids." I'm like, yeah, I do the things I do because I have kids, because I'm busy, because I do this. It's all about your mindset, Don't limit yourself.
Yeah, I'm willing to find myself, so I'm willing to put in the effort.
All right, so what's one piece of advice, I know we just shared a lot, that you would give women considering stepping on stage?
Tell them to find out why they're doing, what's your reasoning behind it? Is it to get in shape? Is it to prove you can do it? Is it because you want the attention? Is it because it's something that looks fun? I would tell them to really look at it and to really find out why you're doing it. And when you do it, make sure that it's for yourself as one of them, right? But because you're going to find yourself. I told my trainer, I'm not sure what in January, because this new year really kind of pissed me off because unless you change something in yourself, you're going to end up with the same you. right? So I told my trainer, I'm not sure when I first started doing the WBF, I'm not sure what it's going to look like at the end, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to find myself. And that's exactly what happened. It was like, you have to be able to be uncomfortable and be able to put something out there that looks crazy, but just do it. If that's what you want.
Well, and I love that. And that was one reason, like, I really wanted to start the podcast of Unfiltered and Unashamed because, like, and when I do, like, it's perfectionism. Like, I want people's brows and everything to look symmetry and all the different things in aesthetics. But, like, boldly being unfiltered and unashamed, making goofy mistakes, not being perfect. And you're really just, you're like, it's like a mirror. You're really just pouring back into yourself. Because, like I tell people, everything that you need is inside of yourself.
The truth.
You just might need a friend or something to reflect it so y'all can bounce back that energy and empower yourself for it. Mm-hmm. But it really is. And I think that's what we felt whenever we saw each other because we know what we want. We know what we're coming after. And sometimes like people be like, well, you're not the same as you used to be. Well, I hope not.
Okay.
Because I want to keep on evolving. It's like the ocean is always changing. Like I remember one time walking on the beach and I kept taking pictures like, oh, that's a pretty one. That's a pretty one. But it was just the ocean. It was always changing because every stage is going to be beautiful. And I feel that we all are the same age, the same amount of time. And I'm just like, if I'm surrounded by women that are older than me and that are looking as beautiful as you, I'm like, well, my future's looking good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Energy matches energy. And to be able to recognize it and step into it is a gift.
And, I always say, they say let your later days be your better days, but it's like each year you feel like is your best year. But like, I feel like, the 40 to 60 range, it's like you usually raise your kids into a level where they're kind of sustainable. And you can really, you've gotten a career or something that's pretty much already kind of going, away. So you really can kind of have that chance. And isn't it weird that it's like halfway to 100, you're getting there, right?
Yeah,
and so,
I know.
And because I always wanted that knowledge young, because I was like, why do I have to wait till I get older to get smart? Like, I want to be smart and young, and get ahead of the thing. Yeah. And so I think we're on to something with what we're doing and sharing and living by example. And I do think that this is not going to be the first and only time that we're going to be on a podcast.
Agreed, girl. The universe, too much is going on.
We're just starting to brush off some dust off the diamonds, baby, because we're going to be shining bright like a diamond.
Amen. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Well, I'm so excited that you took the time to be on here today. And if our stories hit anybody at home, please like and follow us and comment below. And we will welcome you to see our next journey and adventure to the stage. So stay tuned. Bye.
I love you.
Thanks for tuning in to Unfiltered and Unashamed, the Ashley Reece podcast. If today spoke to your spirit, your hustle, or your healing, share it with a sister. Leave a review or tag me on Instagram at Ashley_SEA7. Remember, your story matters. Your glow up is holy, and the world needs more women who are rooted in truth, rising in power, and unashamed to shine. Until next time, stay strong, stay soulful, and keep walking in purpose.